Do you wake up waiting for your anxiety to spike and you just hope that someone will come and tell you that everything's gonna be okay? Or maybe even worse, do you wait for someone to come and save you? I get it. I have felt that way before as well, and I really thought that the answer was having someone else come to my rescue. And if it wasn't someone else, then maybe it was meds. But what I realized is that the reason I felt anxious is because I was creating this sense of uncertainty, this instability, and this unpredictability that just felt completely overwhelming because I was so focused on what was happening in the future or what would happen in the future, and I felt so focused on what had happened in the past. And when I sat there and I spun my wheels on those things, then it completely zapped any ability I had to remain calm. When I got to that place, I just felt like I wasn't motivated to do anything. Everything just seemed impossible. And then I convinced myself that I just wasn't good with adjusting to change and new circumstances. And I just didn't know how to adjust. But when I did that, I kept myself stuck. And then I would go even farther into the anxiety spiral because then I would start thinking about the future and the past again. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to rely on medication. You don't have to wait for someone to come and save you. And things are possible because you are not anxiety. You are not an anxious person. You are running a pattern of anxiety. And that's the key detail, is that you are running a pattern. When you say that you're an anxious person, it becomes part of your identity. It becomes part of who you are. And the more you say it, it's harder to change that story and it's harder to break free from that. But when you can recognize that it's a pattern, it actually gives you the power to change. And so I'm going to tell you the fastest way to snap yourself out of feeling anxious. And no, it's not distracting yourself with your phone. I wish it were. And no, it's also not stepping outside of your comfort zone. Talk about another way to make yourself feel anxious, because stepping out of your comfort zone is going to make you feel uncertain, unstable, and like things are unpredictable. And so when you want to calm that feeling of anxiety, the thing you should do the most is create stability for yourself. But before you can create that stability, you actually have to calm your body so that you can get to the place where you can respond rather than react. And so a lot of times when we're feeling anxious, there are certain things happening in our body. And typically we have the following. We have a racing heart, we have a knot in our stomach, and sometimes we start to sweat. Sometimes it feels hard to breathe. Sometimes we just want to scream. Sometimes we just want to run away. And then sometimes we feel like we're going to barf, or just our stomach feels a little unsettled. So when you get those feelings in your body, that's your first thing that says, anxiety is creeping in and I need to stop it. So the fastest way to change that is to change your physical state. And so you can do that by breathing, you can do that by walking, you can do that simply by getting a drink of water. And I know you're probably thinking it sounds way too simple, but that really is the fastest way to snap out of that pattern of anxiety so that you can get to a place of recognizing why the anxiety was being triggered and what you'd like to do instead that's more serving. So if you want more help with this, my Figure This Shit Out series, and maybe you're feeling a little bit lost or overwhelmed or stuck as you're going through this feeling of anxiety, and those videos will help you to see things a bit more clearly. So thanks for tuning in.